Just giving y'all a moment to vibe. You're listening to Take Two by Pro Reese. Go check it out. My truck drivers, go check out Pro Reese. And the song is Take Two. It's a nice little vibe. All right. Hey, we here once again. We're in the building. God has blessed us one more week to be in the building. We missed you last week, but we here now. Come on in. Hey, welcome to another edition of the Freight Trapping Podcast, and I'm your host, Mr. James Roberts. And I'm gonna ramble for a bit, give people time to come in and get settled in. It's been a cold week. It's getting chilly out there, and we all just trying to stay warm, trying to stay out the way until this little old cold weather pass. And my wife, she'll be back next week. She chilling. She decided to take a little break, and that's fine. And all we doing is talking news. She's the interviewer. She asks all the pertinent questions. So we just talking a little trucking tonight. And this is my first time going live on Instagram. Yes, I am live. I told my wife I'm finna become more in tune with that because this is our brand. So first thing I would like to say, let's get a little advertisement out the way. Go check out rtla.com. We got Roberts Transportation and Logistics Academy. My wife doing some beautiful things over there. And we also have hoodies in. I'm telling you, they're going fast. We got some left. This is the new one. We had black and gold. Now we have the white and gold. Check me out. Yeah, that is. Millionaire Freight Trapping. Go get it. Yes, sir. These are custom hoodies, as you can tell. You can tell by the little old string that they're custom hoodies. They don't have a tag in them. They true to fit. So I advise you when you purchase one, kind of get a size up, maybe 2. I'm not gonna be on Instagram long because I do a lot of stuff. I would love for you to go to YouTube. It's Freight Trapping, the Freight Trapping Podcast on YouTube. Go subscribe and like. Hit that like button. It don't cost you nothing. Hit that like button. It don't cost you nothing. What's up, Charles Tolliver, man? You in here every week, bro. I see. I think you be waiting before you be ready before we do, bro. And I appreciate you. Shout out to my wife, the Queen of Dispatch. Like I said, she's taking a little break, which is fine with me. It's Valentine's Day. She wanted to take a little break, and I'm gonna hold the ship down until we meet again next week. On next week, we're gonna interview a dispatcher. Next week we're gonna have a dispatcher, and I'm sorry, y'all. I was kind of reading. We're gonna have a dispatcher on. His name is AJ. He has been dispatching in the corporate world for about, I think about maybe a little over 10 years, I believe. So I would love to get his insight. And once again, like I always tell you guys, that and all of the hoodies, my wife, she's She have everything on lock. She gonna put everything how you can order the hoodies. Get in touch with her through Roberts Transportation Logistics Academy if you want to take her courses, if you want to inquire about other things we got going on at the academy. She gonna have everything in the description below to where you can order your hoodies, man. Make sure you get these. They're going fast, I'm telling you. And when we probably gonna make another order, so you guys probably want to pre-order your hoodies. Like I said, get a size up, maybe 2, because these are fit. They're fit. I have on 4X, and it actually fits like a 3. So that's good. That's good that it fits like a 3. It fits me fine. I'm good. So make sure you get that order in. Make sure you get everything taken care of. And once again, like I said, I want to shout out to everybody on Instagram. I just, like I said, it's my first time going live on Instagram. I'm going to be doing this more often. I won't be on there long, though. So I ask you guys, please, 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 please go over to YouTube and subscribe. Get your notifications. Hit the like button. The Freight Trapping, The Freight Trapping, FR8GHT at on YouTube. TheFreightTrapping.com, FR8GHT Trapping podcast on YouTube. Subscribe and like. And there it is again. She's on her job, even though she's not here. Thank you. That's where you can go and order your hoodies. It's right there on the screen. I'm gonna keep it up there for a little bit. Go order your hoodies, man. Get them before they're gone. Hey, man. Shout out to my boy Lou. What's up, Lou? Hey, man. I see you. Appreciate you coming in, man. Y'all. But like I said, make sure you go over to we live on YouTube. We live on YouTube. Link in my bio on Instagram. And we're gonna get this thing started. Like I said, that intro was by Pro Reese, take 2. I like to kind of find untapped artists and kind of give them, even though we have a little bass quality, but I love it. I love it. And with what I do with what I do that's so small, I'm still gonna, support those who trying to get somewhere. And this young man, I found him on something I was searching for. And man, y'all go check him out. Go support him. Go support these up and coming artists. He do a lot of beats, and I mean, just go support. And once again, there it is. There it is. Tune in via YouTube channel. There it is on the screen. YouTube.com, man. Go check us out. Go check us out. Appreciate you, buddy. Oh man, I'm gonna do it, bro. I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm gonna keep giving it to them, no matter who want it. It's here for them to get it. Like God said, it's for me to give and you to receive. So if you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't. I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave that website up for the hoodies, so you guys can always have it. Once again, like I said, it's gonna be a link in the bio, and you guys can go check that out. So, how was the week? How did you guys enjoy your week? How did your week go, man? My week is crazy. Was crazy. But I enjoy it, man. I enjoy it. I enjoy variety. I enjoy variety. So, we had opportunity to on my job, they always finding ways to kind of help all of the drivers through this pandemic and, kind of get a steady paycheck and nobody kind of, lose money or lose hours at the job. So I want to shout, first of all, I want to say shout out to Facebook Live. We Facebook Live too. Hey man, appreciate y'all Facebook Live, man. Y'all show out on Facebook Live, and I appreciate you. And I appreciate you so much, man. So much. Yeah, like I was saying, my job, man, is wonderful, bro, because what they do is they kind of create lanes for you to continue to get your hours, and help you stay making a living, even at a slow period like this. As you know, man, we've had some really bad weather when it comes to trucking. Go get your hoodies, man. Instagram, go get your hoodies. Go get your hoodies. Go check it out. Go to the freighttrapping.com. Order your hoodies. Freighttrapping.com or FR8GHT Go get your hoodies, man. They're going fast. Um, and so the weather's been really bad this week. And at the end of last week, up in the Midwest, coming down through Dallas. And for us, like they said, the weather for tomorrow, they're predicting, a lot of ice because of the rain and then freezing temperatures. So, for me, I've driven through that stuff, man. I've driven through blizzards. I've driven through hurricanes. I've driven through tornadoes, and I didn't know it was a tornado. I just kind of kept it moving. And see, the thing about in trucking, well, what it is you when you're on the highway, man, and you hit bad weather, you never hit your brakes. You never hit your brakes and just stop like that when you hit bad weather, because people are traveling behind you that they're pretty much they trail trucks. And even in a car, you don't jam on your brakes when you run into bad weather. When you run into a bad weather storm, a bad rain. I didn't say keep going at the same pace. I said don't slam on your brakes. Pull up off your brakes. Pull up off your gas. Pull up off your gas and just let your car coast. If you know you're gonna eventually pull out, put on your hazard lights. Put on your hazard lights. Put on your hazard lights. Then when you feel like your speed has slowed to a safe degree where nobody's gonna run up on you, pull over. Pull over. But don't just jam on your brakes because you run into a heavy storm or heavy water. Man, it really creates for a bad situation when you do that. And and one thing that I know is that with what happened up in Dallas, we really spoke about what happened up in what really happened up in on I-80 the week before. Was it Iowa? Montana. I think it was Montana. A trooper tweeted out to some truck drivers that same week. He tweeted, drivers, remember, in bad weather, you're only a 80,000-pound skateboard. And so that was from the trooper the week before. And so, man, we've been getting bad weather through the Midwest, coming from the Midwest through Montana, down through Colorado, on down through to just this week through to Dallas with the I-35. So that's our main topic tonight. That's what we're going to be discussing tonight, is what happened up in on I-35. We're going to be discussing the pros, the cons, what could have happened, what the drivers could have done, what may have caused that. And remember, this is a podcast. Everything that we say here is not factual. It's all opinionated. It's all based on my experience, on people experience who come on. This is not factual. It is an opinion-based podcast. We do present facts when it comes down to laws, legislation, when it comes to trucking. Facts come from when we can grab it off of FMCSA's website and present it to you. That's the facts. But when it comes down to news and and giving our opinion and saying what could have happened, what couldn't have happened, those are all opinions. Those are all opinions. So don't hold our feet to the fire when it comes to that. Don't hold our feet to the fire when it comes to it, because this is all our opinion. This is all our expert advice, or how we put our eyes on it and give our opinion. So at the end of the day, um, it's nothing that we're saying that what we're saying is an absolute, because we know in life nothing is an absolute. Nothing is an absolute. This is what I want everybody to understand. This is strictly from 20 plus years, 25 plus years, with everybody that I bring on. Louis going to come on later on. He had to do something, but he's going to come on. We're going to be talking about some things. We're going to be talking about some other stuff, and this is a trucking podcast, but we also venture into a lot of stuff. Basically, relationships, love, sports, because that's who we are. Trucking is not our entire life, but this is a trucking podcast. This is a trucking podcast, and so at the end of the day, um, that's what we do. This is our careers, but our life, our love, our passion is our families. It is our loved ones. Is the things that we love to do: bowling, watching football, playing football, watching baseball, playing basketball, watching. I mean, those are our hobbies. That's what we love to do. So we talk about that too. It's just that we focus on trucking at this moment, but we will venture and talk about some other things, because we're not beyond letting you vent. As a driver, you can vent. As a dispatcher, you can vent. As a broker, you can vent. As someone looking to get into trucking, you can vent. At whatever hurdles you've come against, you can vent. This is life. This is life. This is not something that's just strictly. Don't call me and talk about nothing else. I don't know. You can talk about whatever, but from my platform going out, this is going to be trucking, transportation. Of course, I got my wife with me, so how can I not talk about love? I'm a minister, so how can I not talk about God? And like I said, my wife sits beside me, so how can I not talk about relationships if that's what it is? Because everything makes a trucker's life go round, and that's what we do here at the Freight Trapping Podcast. We have fun, we love, we play music. As you can tell, I just highlighted a young man, and I love doing this. I love talking. I love just giving out information, and that's what we're gonna do. That's what we're gonna do each and every week. We're gonna have fun, and so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get started. And I'm gonna y'all come on in, man. Come on in. I'm finna get this. Finna tackle this first. I'm not gonna go into the first, but here we go. All right, 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 all right. So this first topic I wanna get into. Try to pull this up real quick. First topic I want to get into is and the reason I'm bringing this up, because we have a lot of female truckers in the industry, and we talked about we talked about uh, men's health and all of that because the trucking industry is dominated by men. But I ran across an article, and the article says top 5 health concerns for women truckers. Dr. John, this is, and if you want to, this is coming from the American Trucker. It's an article on American Trucker. Dr. John McElligott, volunteer medical advisor to St. Christopher Trucking Relief Fund, shared his expertise. So this is one doctor's expertise. And like I said, he's given his opinion. He's given what he's found throughout his years of being a physician. And so that's what it's all about, man. Um, it ain't just about, you know, telling you this is fact. Like he said, he giving his expertise on the biggest health issues in trucking, as well as those most prevalent in women truck drivers. According to Dr. John, co-founder of St. Christopher Truckers Relief Fund and volunteer medical advisor to the fund, the highest problem in trucking is health. Women in trucking and women in business is a big, big deal these days. Without women, we would not make it through the day. I second that. Without women, we will not make it through the day. Without a woman, your children won't get picked up for school. Without a woman, your kids won't get taken to the doctor. Without a woman, your kids wouldn't know what genuine love is, because even though you love your kids as a man, we could never give them the type of love, because when you carry somebody, a person like that. Hello, Nakia, how you doing? Come on in, man. Thank you for coming in. When a woman gives, that love, that internal love that a child gets from the time of conception, man, there's no way we can give that to them. All we can do is continue to try to give them that external love. But without women, man, truckers over the road, truckers going anywhere, a trucker doing anything, we would be nothing, because then we wouldn't even be able to move, because they help us out so much. But that's how God made it. The two go hand in hand. The two, women and men, go hand in hand. We work together to make like better for us. That's why God says, you got to know your neighbor, know a stranger. When I met my wife, she was a stranger. She was a neighbor, but I got to love her. So at the end of the day, that's what it is. Women in trucking and women in business is a big, 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 big deal. Without women, we would not make it through the day. Elliott explained, women still outlive men. That's a fact. How can that be, you may ask? Men, the older they get, the more they continue to work. Yep, that's a fact. That's a fact. Hey, Latoya, how you doing? Come on in, man. Come on in, Miss Latoya, man. Welcome, man. It's good to see you. That's a fact. The older a man gets, the more he wants to work, because men don't like grass growing under their feet. I'm gonna say men. I didn't say a man. I said men. So they don't let grass growing over their feet. So I'm gonna get into. He goes on and talk about other things, but I'm gonna get into some things. Top 5 things that this expert in the field said that concerns him when it comes to women health in trucking. Heart disease is number 1, but I think heart disease is number 1 if you're not a trucker. That's just that's just one of them things. You say heart disease for what? Yeah, that's just one of them things if you're not a trucker. Heart disease affect Americans just so much. I mean, just throughout the Black community, it is really, really bad. So at the end of the day, heart disease is big, is really big. So he says the best pump you'll ever own is your heart. Exactly. The best part you own is your heart. Number 2, migraines. Woo! Migraines. How many of us deal with migraines? I don't deal with them like that. It's not a medical condition for me, but I have them. Once your sinuses get stopped up, you get a headache that's like a migraine. But from people who suffer from migraines, like my brother, they have to take medicine for the migraines. A sinus headache is nothing compared to a migraine. So women are 3 times more likely to experience migraine headaches than men. Job stress, anxiety, hormonal changes, and sinus issues. See, there it is, sinus issues can all increase the likelihood of migraine headaches. And I guess that's why he say migraines are more prevalent in women, and they are. I've seen more women with migraines, and he said one thing: hormonal issues. That's one of the things that messes you up. Hormonal issues, man. That's something that men can't go through. That's something that men don't go through. And so not like women. So when your body is steady changing like that, it puts stress on you. It puts some things on your mind, and then when you start thinking about things and thinking about this, and oh Lord, my chest went bad, now I gotta go see a specialist. That puts stuff on your mind, and so yes, and stress brings about migraines, brings about high blood pressure, brings about heart disease. So yes, I totally agree with that. Hey man, y'all go ahead and hit that like button. Hit that like button, share. Hey man, this is just a news portion. Next week we're going to continue with the interviews. We got more on tap next week. We got a dispatcher from corporate America. He's going to be on. We got some other things lined up. Lou is going to be joining us here in a little bit. I kind of want to save the meat of the news for when he gets in. So number 3 is obesity. Number 3 is obesity. Let me mute this. Yeah. Number 3 is obesity, man. It says obesity is like being in a torture chamber. It's very intense. Sometimes recent studies say 50% of truckers are obese, but that's not what we're seeing in our health clinics. In fact, we're seeing more patients suffering from obesity. For example, Healthy Trucking of America states that 52% of members report obesity, closely followed by 42% reporting liver disorders and 32% reporting diabetes. Man, that's some high numbers. And I can honestly say that when I started driving trucks, man, I was about 210 when I first started driving trucks. Yeah, I was about 210 when I first started driving trucks. Once I came over the road. Once I stopped driving over the road, I think I topped out at, I think it was 280, maybe 300. Yeah. After 10, 11 years of being on the road, I put on that weight. And the main reason why, and we all know why you put on weight when you're on over the road trucker, man. You trying to get to where you going, and then you drive all those hours and you want to sleep. You're not finna get out and go walk around no parking lot and get you no exercise in, man. You finna lay it down because you still gotta finish the tail end of it. And then where you stop at, it's not like you have some healthy eating to eat right there. You know what I'm saying? You stopping and getting what you can get while you can get it. And man, all of that all of that fruit and all of that stuff that be sitting in loves and all of, man, come on, please. Don't tell her how long that fruit been sitting there. No offense to loves. No offense to Flying J. No offense to Polly. I'm just saying, how fresh is those cup of fruits? You eat that and you still hungry. After driving 10 hours, how you going to get me to say that, okay, I'm good with eating a cup of fruit? Right? How you gonna say I'm good with eating a cup of fruit? There's no way. It's no way. So you go in there and you get you some meat and potatoes. You go in there, you sit down at the Flying J and you eat you some meat and potatoes. And like I said a couple of episodes before, the only problem with that is the gravy, the potatoes, and the meat are all processed. It'd be different if they were fresh. It'd be different if they was pattying up the hamburger meat, frying it, then throwing it in some gravy that was made from scratch. That's not the case. All of that is powdered everything. Processed meat, powdered gravy, and processed powdered mashed potatoes. And it's full of sodium. Because why? Sodium preserves everything, especially meat. Sodium preserves everything until you get ready to use it. So, unless you pack, and even if you do pack, especially for those who stay on the road 3 weeks at a time, 2 weeks at a time, even a week, I tried to pack healthy for a week in my truck. I had a refrigerator and everything. Guess how long that lasted? Man, I ate through the carrots. I ate through the celery. I ate through the grapes, the strawberries, because while you rolling and you talking on the phone and you getting to where you going and you being safe, you knocking down grapes, you knocking down strawberries, you knocking down this, you knocking down that, and all the fruit creates water. Soon as you go to the restroom, it's gone. Soon as you go use the restroom, it's gone. So at the end of the day, it's just hard. I mean, it's hard to kind of, say I'm gonna stay in this lane and eat good while I'm on the road. It's very, very hard. And the thing about it is, what I don't like about it is that we got all these vegan, and I'm gonna promote for them. All of these vegan restaurants that have opened up and that have become mainstream and that have become good and that have been doing good, why haven't they put some type of vegan vegan shop or vegan products into the Flying J's? I'm just asking. I'll wait. Why haven't they put some type of fresh produce section? Not cupped, but something you can go in there and buy apple, orange, pears, all of that kind of stuff. I'll wait. And then if that's the case, if you don't want to put it inside, why haven't you allowed, or why haven't you tried to find someone who goes to the market and get and buy fresh fruit? Why haven't you allowed them to come out there and sell fresh fruit right in front of the Flying J? Why? Because it's going to take away from them selling everything that they sell in a restaurant that's going to make you keep on the pounds. See, for me, it's just not about us, watching us. Yeah, they don't care. You right, Nakia. They don't care. You right. They don't care. And so at the end of the day, man, if I could invest, bro, I would. And if anybody out there listening, I'm gonna put an idea in your mind. Get you a food truck and stock it with, every day. Stock it with fresh vegetables. I know it's gonna be hard. But I guarantee you, if you pull up in front of any truck stop at 6 o'clock in the evening to 12 o'clock at night, from three, the reason why I say those times, because if you go out there at 3 in the afternoon, you can do a sweep at 3, but I wouldn't post up. But for me, between 6 and 12 is when drivers pull in, and that's when black drivers pull in, or not black drivers, I'm sorry, when drivers pull in and stop for the day. We have a black farmers market out here in our VA. Yeah, yeah. I'm gonna get, hey, I'm putting it out there. Black farmers market, take your vegetables, your fruits, your packages, and just go sit out in front of the truck stops. And from that time period, even if you might go from 4 to 10, but just go sit and just go see. Now it's gonna be our choice if we want to get that or not. You know what I mean? If we want to purchase that or not. Because like I say, when it comes down to fruits and vegetables, they're so water based, and that's why they're good for you, because they're so water based. They create water, which creates a healthy diet. That they're so water based that, once we use the number one, they're basically gone. You know what I'm saying? You're hungry again. And so that's why I say, if there's a vegan anything, if there's a vegan anything, and they want to create another lane for themselves to make some money and get in there and kind of create a whole nother dynamic, I would say, man, get you a food truck and go sit by the truck stops. I'm serious. Everybody else do it. You got wings, you got hamburger trucks, you got everything that's going to keep you obese. You got everything that's going to keep you. And I ain't going to lie to you, bro. When you pull up and you hungry and you smell that, man, you be like, you can have in your mind, man, I'm going to eat healthy. I'm going to eat this and I'm going to lay it down. Because when you eat good, man, you get a better night's sleep. You get a better night's sleep. And that's another thing that, we run into as truckers, is that when we pull over and we decide to eat, we eat, take a shower, and try to go lay down. And when you go lay down on that food, man, that creates heartburn, because you haven't given yourself time enough to digest. It takes an hour to hour and a half for your body to properly digest whatever food you just eaten, unless you've just eaten something really light to where it's not going to cause, reflux and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, we got to take better care of ourselves as truck drivers, and that's why it's not. I think that's why we're having a shortage. They say, not a shortage, but we're not getting a lot of people into the field, is because they're seeing that, the health issues that their uncles have, their dad have, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. So let's take better care of ourselves. And it starts with me. Meaning, when you say that and you put it out there, it starts with me. Take care of yourself. The number 4 is breast cancer, breast and cervical cancer. Wow, I didn't know that. 1 in 8 women develop invasive breast cancer, while 12 million women are diagnosed with cervical cancer each year. Once again, for me, that's not just for truckers. That's for all women. I don't care if you a doctor, a nurse, anything. I think that's for all women, period. When it comes down to cervical and breast cancer, that's just, for me, he put that in there, but that's just something that's general. It applies to every female. It applies to every male. Even colon cancer. It's a lot of truckers that dealt with colon cancer. A lot of truckers that deal with prostate cancer. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's just one of those things where you say, oh, it's a rise in it. So yeah, it applies to trucking. It applies to women, period. Women, period. And the last one is respiratory disease. Lung disease is on the rise for women. Why is that? The answer is simple. Smoking is one of the leading causes of respiratory diseases. Research shows that at least 47% of women are affected by respiratory disease such as asthma, emphysema, hay fever, chronic bronchitis, and more. Man, with COVID-19 going around and the way it attacks your respiratory, why not? Why not? That's a definite. That is a definite when it comes down to taking care of yourself. That's a definite. Because why? Man, it's just something that if you don't get out and walk and move and get your body circulating. Me and my wife was talking the other day, and I say, I'm gonna help you stretch and you're gonna help me stretch. Because at the end of the day, stretching stretches your veins. It gets your veins to getting used to being pulled and moving. And it's just like a rubber band. Your veins are almost similar to a rubber band. When you pull it, you get more wear and you get more work out of a rubber band when you pull it. So when you stretch and your limbs are limber and you don't realize how much that helps your circulation when you stretch and you move. It helps. Riding a bike. If you got bad knees, I got a bad knee, a bad ankle. So at the end of the day, I can't do a lot of running. So, but I do try. But at the end of the day, you still a bike. Get you a bike. Get on a bike. Get your cardio up. Get your cardio up. So, like they told me, hey man, you need to get your cardio up so your veins can get big. When you don't have good cardio, your veins get small, and it makes it harder for blood to flow through your veins. So, if you don't like to run, you don't like the treadmill. I don't like running on no treadmill. I don't like, that make me feel like a hamster. I'm not gonna lie. I like variety. I like obstacles. I like, make it fun for me. And so at the end of the day, get on a bike. Just ride your bike. Ride your bike for about 10, 15 minutes every day. Go around the corner, you know what I'm saying, on your bike. And get your cardio up. But those were the top 5 things for women in trucking that they caused them a big, big, big concern. So the next topic I'm going to move over to, I've always wanted to ask, I wish Lewis was on here. I'll be glad when he tap in. I wish another driver would have called in. But I'm going to say this here to the women on to everybody in the comments. Let me ask you a question. Out of all the people that you know, or that if your husband is a driver, what's his number one truck in the industry to drive, and what's his least favorite in the industry to drive? And all your drivers, let me say this here, all drivers, anybody, it doesn't matter who it is, anybody. Hey, you can call in at any time. If you're calling in, man, let me know in the comments and I'll pull you up, because sometimes I get to moving and talking and shaking and I'll forget to go check my phone lines. Just if you're in the comments and you're gonna call in, just say, hey man, I'm about to hit you, and I'll jump over there and I get online. But hey, what's the and even if you just like the way they look, even if you like the way they look, you know what I'm saying? Uh, let me know, and I'm finna tell you what I'm talking about in a minute. But yeah, you're right. Yes, thank you, baby. Yeah, anybody. It ain't just for drivers, even though this is a driver's podcast. It ain't just for drivers. Anybody. Hey man, call in and let me know. Talk to me about anything we just talked about. Let me know. The 5 top things that bother women. You got any suggestion for truckers, period, and how to get into better shape internally on the road while they're on the road 3 weeks, 2 weeks, a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time. Call in with your comments, with your suggestions, with your advice, all of that kind of stuff. Yeah, I do smoothies. I haven't done them in the last 2 weeks, but I'm gonna get back on them. I do a smoothie every morning, and I promise you, when I do a smoothie every morning, it has enough vitamins and proteins and everything that my body needs. That by the time I realize, oh man, I haven't eaten, it's because my body has what it needs, and I wasn't sleepy, I wasn't sluggish, or none of that. So if you put the right things together that your body needs, it works. Drinking a smoothie works. I mean, putting those things, finding out what you may have to go through a few products to see what fix your body, what fix your makeup. Because every Slim Fast not gonna work for certain people. Jenny Craig not gonna work for certain people. Weight Watchers not gonna work for certain people. So you just gotta find the combination that works for you. That's what it's all about. Finding what works for you. Period. Point blank. So the reason why I asked that, it says new look for truckers news website and newsletter. And inside of that, it says that Kenworth, KW, is going to reveal the new look T680. See, for me, KW is my favorite. And I'm going to tell you why KW is my favorite. KW my favorite because that's the first truck I ever learned to drive. It was a Super 18. And I just love the way it pulls. I love the way it feels when I sit in it. I love the space that it have on the inside. I love the cab. I just love the KW. I just love the KW. And so the KW just fits me as a driver. Now, don't get it twisted. I drive anything except for a cab over. If you don't know what a cab over is, that's when yes, that's right. Facts, Latoya, we all have to recognize, our bodies are different. Exactly. And react different. Yes, of course. Yes, ma'am. Exactly. Thank you. Yes. And you have to find out what works for you. But KW was a truck for me. That's for me. I drive anything, like I said, except for a cab over. I cannot handle a cab over. I don't care how much you pay me. I realize now that sometimes money ain't everything. You can have it. If you got a truck that don't have airbags, which they shouldn't even be on the road right now, because with all of the legislation and everything coming in with the safety things and with the DEF, how they trying to be safe and putting in ELDs in every truck. Hey man, I don't see why there's a truck on the road with spring brakes. For real, everything should be air ride. Everything. So a cab over is where the cab of your truck, your seat, is sitting over the steering tire. Yeah, it's just a fat face. You don't have nothing in front of you but the windshield, and you're sitting over the tire, and the steering wheel is big as the tire. I can't stand them trucks. I can't. And the only way for you to get in the cab or in the sleeper, the only way for you to get in the sleeper is you have to climb over all of this stuff that's in the middle, climb over it, and it's not even a drop off. It's not even a place for you to walk. All you can do is climb back there, go to sleep, and when you get up, climb out. That's it. So, Kenworth Next Generation Technology Kit includes a 15-inch digital display, a smart steering wheel, LED headlights under the vehicle airflow management, additional advanced driver assistance program, meaning that all of the brakes, if you tap them, they'll begin to lock one at a time instead of all locking up at the same time. If you start to veer over into another lane, they got a lane assistant where it'll start going off, giving you those bumping sounds. If you get too close to a vehicle, it'll start beep, 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 beeping, waking you up if you're asleep, because that's most of the time if you're asleep, that what wakes you up is a beep. So if you get too close, so that's what they mean by uh, additional advanced driver assistance system, and what the company calls a sleek high-tech design that balances aerodynamics and serviceability. The T680 Next Gen includes new aero bumper and hood. But that's my favorite. I just wanted to bring that up. Kenworth is my favorite. Is my favorite truck. Kenworth is my favorite. Freightliner will be my next. Freightliner will be my next one. Peterbilt will be the next. Volvo will be the next. And then Mack. Mack will be the next. Those are my top five. In that order. Kenworth, Freightliner, Peterbilt, Volvo, Mack. And no, I do not like internationals. For me, they have the transmission is just it's not smooth at all. It's not smooth. I go to back up. You gotta almost put your foot in it to get it to start moving backwards. Whereas with a KW, with a KW, and that's nothing not knocking on international. That's just me. That's nothing knocking on international. I mean, they some good trucks, but they just not for me. Some people love them. Some people can't stand KW. Some people can't stand the trucks that I love. But that's just who you are. That's just for you. That's your preference. And so at the end of the day, I just prefer to drive a Peterbilt. But I will drive an international. I will make money with an international all day long. But if you ask me what I want to drive, put me in something, I'll pick a KW. Then from there, I'll pick a Freightliner. From there, I'll pick a Peterbilt. From there, a Volvo. From there, a Mack. And I'll probably put Mack in front of Volvo because it got more pulling power. But that it is what it is. But that's what I wanted to talk about when it came down to that, because we talked about it the other day, and it's just that when you go out to find a truck to drive in or to drive, you just want to be comfortable. You want to know what you're looking for. You want to know, what you're comfortable with. And like I said, for me, when I know how a truck drives when you're backing up, it makes a big difference. Because some trucks don't allow you just to come off the gas and then they'll start moving backwards slowly, you know what I'm saying, with you, instead of you having to give it gas. Because if you have to give it gas, then if you're trying to jackknife or if you're trying to get in a small hole, then if you've overcompensated, on your turning, then your trailer would move too fast. So at the end of the day, if you get your truck that moves the trailer back for you, and now you can just kind of work your wheel and get your trailer to stay up under your trailer, especially if you bump in the dock. Oh my God. If you have to give it gas when you bump in the dock, oh my God. You're already trying to figure out how close you are to the dock. And then you're trying to make sure your speed is good backing up, because that's the worst thing. You want to get out and go to a shipper and say, "Hi, I'm here to pick up," but you didn't boom on their dock. You didn't just blast it they whole dock. So at the end of the day, you backing up, but you got to give it gas, and you don't know how far or how close you are to it. And so now you give it a little gas, and you were closer than what you thought it was, and now you got whiplash. Boom, boom. Oh man, my back. Oh, ooh. You just kind of sit there for a minute. You be like, woo, yeah. Mm-hmm. Woo, yes, sir. Okay. So you just try to wait to let somebody else go in, right? So, but that's why I don't like international, because they don't allow you to just kind of roll backwards, with the wheel. So with that being said, that's mine. I wish you guys just put it in the comments, call in, tell me what your favorite truck is, top 5, what you love to drive, why. I love to have a conversation with you guys. Anybody out there on the road, hey man, hit me up, call me, let me know you're gonna call in. And that's my top 5. So my next story is Montana carriers shut down by FMCSA, safety issues cited. I wanted to talk about this one because you got to understand, as a trucking company, man, you have to follow FMCSA guidelines. But this was a trip. I'm talking about this was a trip. It's in the article. If you go to Truckers News, you can see the article. But I'm not gonna call out the trucking company. I'm just gonna call out why they were shut down. Following an investigation by the Montana Department of Transportation and FMCSA enforcement personnel, this group was found to have widespread violation of numerous federal regulations, including failure to have a systematic vehicle inspection, repair, and maintenance program to prevent unsafe commercial vehicles from operating on public roadways. Look here. Let me tell you something. Stuff like this is the reason why all of the regulations come down on us. It's just take one and it starts snowballing. And a big company like that, FMCSA, gonna be like, hey man, we put stuff in, and like that. That's the reason why here in Texas they have that 72-hour inspection twice a year. Is to make sure that companies like that are not on the road. I wouldn't drive for a company. I've driven for, when I first started, man. I'm happy, but I've driven for owner operators that I tell them, hey man, the airbag under the cab, it didn't went out, and they figure, just because it's not a brake issue or anything like that, they figure, you're good, roll with it. No, if you get pulled in and they do a level 3 inspection on you, and anything that's supposed to be on your truck is supposed to be in working order on your truck, is for the safety of you and the public. Airbags under the cab is a safety device for you to make your ride and your driving experience better. So if a DOT officer decides to shut you down because the airbag under your cab is bad, bruh, that's on the operator. But then that ticket's on you because you still decided to drive. But see, that's a penitentiary chance you take when you're out there making money. I've taken plenty of them. I've taken plenty of chances. Some I made it with. I've had my share of tickets too. I've had overweight tickets when I first started because of the fact of I was green. I was green, and when you get them containers, they load them any kind of way. Some of them be loaded heavy in the front, some of them be loaded heavy in the back, but don't none of them be loaded balanced. That's the thing about it, especially when you haul the scrap metal. When you hauling scrap metal, bro, you no telling how. And then I didn't know that. Didn't nobody tell me that the tandems on a 20-foot container, you can slide them and make the tandem longer. That way, the weight won't be so centered on the tires. Nobody told me that. So yeah, I got an overweight ticket coming through LaPorte. I had 2 of them. I probably had 3. But I got them in the front side of my learning curve. I got them on the front side of my learning curve. So by the time I got into other lanes and started doing other things, I knew what to look for. I knew how to slide a tandem. I got all of it, not all of it, but I got most of everything out of the way, because sometimes when you go through weight scales, they're gonna find something to shut you down for or give you a ticket for, no matter what. You just can't miss it. But this type of stuff right here, what they say is that failure to ensure that that's the next one. Systematic vehicle inspections, repair and maintenance program. That means that they didn't have not one quality control person on site making sure that the drivers' vehicles were safe to drive. Not checking the tire thread, not checking the not checking the slack adjusters. They ain't got no maintenance nowhere. So if something happened to the truck, you either just keep it moving or don't go. That's basically what they were doing. So the next one is failure to ensure that only qualified drivers with proper commercial driver's license operated on public roadways. Really? You got to tell a trucking company that only qualified drivers supposed to be driving their truck? Well, you do, because when you own a truck, if somebody gonna get in there and drive, but then again, why would you? Because they get caught, then that's more money out of your pocket. The money you made for them doing what they were doing, you just had to spend it. Watch this. Drivers of commercial vehicles requiring a CDL in interstate commerce must be at least 21 years old. Federal safety regulations also require all holders of a CDL or commercial learner's permit to possess a medical examiner's certificate. Investigators found that on numerous occasions, a 16-year-old driver who did not possess a CDL, CLP, or medical examiner's certificate. Oh my God. This dude didn't have nothing. I don't even know if he had a driver's license. He probably did, but they saying that he didn't have a CDL, which is a Class A license. He didn't have a CLP, which is a permit to operate with somebody who has a CDL, and he didn't have a medical certificate. Oh my God! And this dude was sick. This dude was 16. This dude was 16. Do you know why people have to be 21 to drive a truck? It's the same way with alcohol. They figure that if you're under the age of 21, you're going to think you're radical. You're not a sound thinker at that under the age of 21. You're not going to be careful. You're not going to be rash. They figure when you turn 21, you become just a little bit more responsible than you are when you was 20, 19, 18. That's why they say you can't drink until you're 21. Because you're going to make it's likely you're going to make this decision not to drive if you're drunk at 21 versus you making this decision to drive when you're 18. Your decision making is different. This dude was 16 years old driving a commercial vehicle. He couldn't even have a license unless it was a permit. And then he had to get a special license at 16, a hardship license. Bruh, how sad is that? How sad is it, bruh? How much weight you gonna put on the rest of these drivers out here doing things the right way? But you got a big company this big with a 16-year-old driver behind the truck, bruh. I'll throw dirt on him, man. I'll throw dirt on him. I'll throw dirt on him, bro. Because at 16 years old, if he get out there and run over somebody, hit somebody, take somebody's family life while he's behind the wheel of an 18-wheeler carrying 80,000 pounds or whatever it is they were hauling. Bruh. This is why the laws come down on trucking, and everybody wonder why, man, why these laws doing this here? That's why the LDL came down. Plus, on top, in my opinion, it was a money thing. But LDL came down because too many people got caught forging their paper logs. They said, okay, so this is what we gonna do. Yeah, 16 years old, man. You got people's family out here going up and down the highway, riding on the side of this truck, riding behind this truck, riding in front of the truck. And you gonna put this kind of man, trucking is sensitive, bro. This is a sensitive industry. Anything can happen at the blink of an eye. Yeah, man, and I'm warm about that, bro. I'm warm about that. What's up, Pat? Hey, man, good to see you, baby. Man, I'm warm about that, man. I am. Because at 16 years old, bro, and my thing is, ELD. Yeah, ELD. My bad, ELD. But my thing is that, you know, I get caught up in the sauce when stuff touch me like this, I get caught up. So if I say the wrong thing, y'all know what I mean. ELD, you know what I mean, ELD. But at the end of the day, man, this 16-year-old behind the wheel of a car, man, what you would have done, I couldn't live with myself if something happened to somebody's family because of him. Or if something happened to him because of him. A rollover that took his life. Only reason he behind the wheel of a car or the wheel of a truck is because his daddy taught him to drive when he was 13. He been riding with his daddy since he was 13. He been riding with his uncle since he was 14. He been riding with his brother since he was 15. He got 3 years of experience driving, and he done it before. How long you think this young cat been on the road driving like that? That's my question. In Montana, where they have hills, inclines, declines, and all of that. I don't care what kind of skill you have. Bruh, 16 years old. And he didn't even get caught in Montana. He got caught in Minnesota and in New York. He got caught twice. And my thing is, why didn't they commandeer that vehicle in Minnesota when this young cat got caught driving at 16? Y'all know what I mean. I ain't gonna say it. Y'all know what. Y'all know why. Y'all know why they didn't come and did his vehicle. Yeah, I ain't gonna say it. Y'all read between the lines. Bruh, if that was one of us, dude would still be locked up in Minnesota trying to get out. All because he didn't have a CDL driving an 18-wheeler. But I throw dirt on him. I ain't gonna lie. I'll bury him. I ain't gonna lie. Shut down? Shit, that'll be the last thing. I'll bury him. Everybody name that's from the owner to the management. I'll bury him. Bruh, y'all can't start another CDL company. Cause bro, they don't care about the safety of the public. Not doing no shit like that. Come on, bro. That's crazy, man. Failure to implement an alcohol and controlled substance. Failure to implement an alcohol and controlled substance testing program required by federal law for drivers who must hold. So plain and simple, they didn't get none of their drivers tested. They didn't have to do nothing. They can go home, do whatever. Never got tested. None of them never got tested. Failure to properly monitor the dispatch of its drivers to ensure compliance with hours of service limitations. That means that they ain't have no record. The driver never had to turn in a paper log. They wasn't on ELDs, nothing. So basically, only thing was good with them was their DOT, their US DOT number. And that probably wasn't good because it probably had, with him getting 2 tickets like that in Minnesota and New York, shit, they was already under audit. They already flagged them. But my thing is, bruh, it ain't enough money. Do you hear me? It ain't enough money that you could find them. It ain't enough money that you could find them that would, in my eyes, that would kind of make up for the improper and the abuse of having a USDOT being able to operate on interstate and intrastate highways and not have everything properly in order, but to have a 16-year-old behind the truck is just, bruh. It just ran me warm. You know what I'm saying? It just ran me warm that, that they would allow, that they would allow something. They would allow, a 16-year-old to get behind the wheel of a car, and then they don't have no drug policies, nothing in place. So, man, that just kind of, let me just kind of slow down for a minute. And believe you when I tell you, man, I don't care what race they were. I don't care if they were black, white, Mexican, Asian, Vietnamese, Indian, Arab. I don't care what they were. If you had a 16-year-old behind the wheel of a truck, operating the truck, bruh, it ain't no love for you. Ain't no love for you. What you get, you gonna get. What you get, you gonna get. I promise. I promise. So here we go. The crash that happened earlier this week on I-35 in Dallas. Man, that was man, that was really, for me, that was really, they got videos of it. If y'all don't haven't seen it, that was 135 car and truck pileup on I-35 on 35 in Fort Worth. And it was 5 deaths as of was it Friday? It was 5 deaths as of then. But I just want to touch on it. I mean, well, I want to talk about it. And, of course, like I said, give my opinion and just more. Yeah, spiritual guidance. That was really tragic. The update says that death toll in huge Fort Worth pileup increases. As more bad weather arrives, officials investigating I-35 and Fort Worth have increased the number of people killed and how many vehicles were involved. Authorities now say six people died in the accident that occurred at about 6 a.m. on icy roads and stretched for more than a mile and a half on the interstate. They have also increased the number of vehicles involved to 133. So I was wrong. I think they said 130, 128 at first. So now it's 133. At least 36 people were taken from the scene by ambulance, and at least 63 more sought medical care on their own. Some 80 police units responded to the scene, as well as 13 ambulances. Area of light freezing rain and some sleet were reported across the Dallas-Fort Worth area about the time of the wreck. First of all, as me and my wife talked about this story on Friday, our prayers and our wishes go out to those families that lost loved ones in that accident. Man, that is one of the most, I think, for women and for men who wives, daughters, sons, husbands, or truck drivers, or commuters. I think that's the worst feeling in the world, to know that your loved one was trying to get home and was involved in something like this. I really send out prayers of wishes to the families of those 6 people who lost their lives in this crash. To those who are hurt, I want to wish you a speedy recovery. And to those who don't know what their next move is going to be, I want to send God's substance and his provision your way, because there has to be some of the scariest stuff you ever want to go through. Can you just imagine, being stopped? And I seen a video, bro, that just shook my spirit, bro, of an 18-wheeler just plowed into a box truck and just flipped him over the barrier, bro. That was that was the worst I've ever seen an accident And we could sit here, and as I looked at it, I was like, at first I was like, where are your Smith system rules? Where are your Smith system rules? But then as me and my wife, talked about it a little bit more, started getting a little bit more insight, understanding what those drivers were up against. I don't know what started to pile up. It probably was a wreck up ahead. As I seen some of the photos, I think a truck, he got pinned up against, at the front end of it, he was pinned up against the wall because he probably tried to miss a car that had been, sped out, turned in circles or whatever the case may be. I think initially it started by people trying to miss people, but they weren't able to miss them. Because let me tell you something about black ice. Well, I ain't going to tell you nothing, but if you know anything about black ice, the reason they call it black ice is because you can't see it. It's the same color as the pavement. It don't look like ice. It don't look like snow. It look like ice. It look like an ice cube that you put in water, and it's clear. So when you're going down the highway and it's cold and it's freezing rain and the temperatures are dropping, what happens is that black ice turns into another sheet on top of the concrete. So what happens is, as you're moving in an 18-wheeler or even in a car, 18-wheeler is worse because you have something behind you that you also got to try to navigate. But even in a car, when you like I said, when you driving through bad weather, the worst you can do is punch your brakes when you realize something's going on up ahead. That's why the Smith system rule is a great tool to have and to teach. Because what the Smith system rule does, it tells you to place a dot on your windshield. And don't focus on the dot, but as you're moving your eyes, keeping your eyes moving, when you're looking at your windshield, always remember to look ahead. Try to look 60 to 90 seconds ahead. So that way you can understand, and see what's going on. So all I can say is that when you get there, when you hit that black ice like that, what you have to do is don't come out of gear, but just come off the gas and allow your jack brake, even in the car, just come off your gas and allow your car to start slowing down. Because if you hit that brake, and I think that's what happened with that 118-wheeler that ran into the back of that box truck, was he hit his brakes, and when you're on that black ice, once your wheels stop moving, you become a missile, an 80,000-pound missile. And he just slid. He just slid into the back of that box truck, and there was nothing he could do. It was absolutely nothing he could do, because that's what black ice does. It turns your vehicle into a missile.
Remove Charles' comment off the screen.
And so at the end of the day, man, that's what you have to kind of, when you're driving in this inclement weather. That's why what happened on I-35 now has everybody on point about being safe, driving in inclement weather, especially with ice. Because as they could see from I-35, man, that black ice will have your entire vehicle turned into a missile, a 80,000-pound missile that you have no control over. And I guarantee you, every single driver, including those trucks that plowed into the cars, they were terrified as I don't know what. I hope for their mental sake that everyone begins to just heal and starts to work on their psyche, because they're going to need it. You know what I mean? If just work on the psyche, man. And the only reason why I'm taking my time with this is because in this moment, you don't want to be insensitive. You don't want to be, you don't want to be just running over and saying anything. But I do want to kind of understand, what's going on. You know what I mean? I do want to understand. With these events, it's a learning experience. With these events, you kind of just say, okay, let's use this as a learning tool. And so, for your young truckers out there, and that's what this trapping is all about, is giving game to the young truckers, giving game to people who just starting out. And when I say young truckers, I mean those who've been driving 1, 2, 3 years. It's just like they say in comedy. However long you've been in comedy, that's how old you are in the game. So if you've been driving 2 years, you're 2 years old. If you've been driving 5, you're 5 years old. If you've been driving 15, you're 15 years old. But this is just to give you some game on how to deal with weather. And this is coming from my experience. Like I said, everything we say on here, unless we come out and say, hey, we pulled this up, this is on FMCSA's webpage, or this is fact, nothing is factual. This is all from my experience, all from our experience of what we've been through. So it's an opinion based. So when I was driving through snowstorms through Colorado, I've driven over black ice. I've pushed the envelope so many times. And by the grace of God covering me, I wasn't in that type of accident. But like I say, all of these things are teaching moments. That's why it's called news. Well, I'm not just going to go over it and tell you what happened. We're going to talk about it. And that's the difference with this, is we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to give you my experience, and I'm going to give you my tips on how to avoid or try to avoid stuff like that. First of all, stay prayed up. Every time you get in your truck, every time you get in your car, you need to be prayed up so that God can cover you, put a hedge of protection around you as you drive. That's the first thing you need to do each and every day, every time. The next thing is when they say the best driver is a prepared driver. Know where you're going. Know what route you're going to take. Know what's coming up. Know if you're going through a GPS, pay attention to the red lines on the GPS. Pay attention to say, well, traffic coming up. Man, plan your route. Understand what you're going into. Understand the city you're driving in or driving through. Understand the highways you're going to take. Understand that if it's cold, it's a possibility that it could freeze, especially if it's starting to rain, especially if it's starting to kind of like mist. Pay attention to that kind of stuff. The next thing is when you get in it, and you know this is what's about to happen, keep your CV on because those older drivers can give you a heads up, whether they coming on the other side of the freeway or whether they in it. They'll tell you, look out, driver, red lights up ahead. You gotta listen to that kind of stuff. Quit just when you're in inclement weather like that, quit riding around with your radio blasted and start listening to your CB. Listen to what's going on. Plan your route. Stay safe. Man, this is important because somebody didn't go home because somebody didn't plan their route. Now, I'm not just talking about a trucker. I'm talking about drivers too. Dispatchers, brokers. Have a heart when a driver calls you and say, hey, man, I'm going to be late. It's raining. It's freezing. They got black ice. Have a heart and say, driver, take your time. Let me know if you're going to stop. That way I can notify the consignee that you're not going to be there when it's supposed to be there because of inclement weather. But the thing is, be truthful. Man, everybody got to start having a heart in this game, man. Everybody. And ain't no way 6 people should not be going home to their families, man. And my thing is, it's just not on us. It's just not on us. Where were the county highway, what they call them? Highway maintenance crew, knowing like tomorrow, like tonight, Harris County knows that it's raining and it's going to get down to freezing temperatures. They know that we have several overpasses. We have several bridges. So either they're going to shut them down or they're going to do what they need to do in order for people to get over those overpasses and those bridges who are just passing through. You dig where I'm coming from? So for me, it's also on the highway maintenance because you do know that they begin to put out sand on the streets. They put out salt on the streets. Why wasn't that done? That's my question. Why wasn't that done? I know they seen the weather update. What they thought people wasn't gonna be trying to drive on that. See, people don't. The thing I hate about it is that you don't go into action until after something happened. But see, this is not the first time this happened. This was the first time it was a big pileup like that, and people lost their lives and all of that. But those roads up in Dallas, they freeze all the time, especially during this season. They freeze all the time. So why wasn't the sand dunes and all of that? Why wasn't that dispersed so that they could make those highways safe? I know up on I-80, they got barriers, they got gates that if the wind too strong, they shutting down the highway. You can't come. Get off. Get off. So at the end of the day, I'm just trying to figure out, what could have been done to prevent even the first car from spinning out. Right? What could have been prevented from the first car spinning out? Then if the first car wouldn't have spin out, that means the whole pileup, because it started somewhere, the whole pileup wouldn't happen if they would have had salt, sand, something on the highway. Now, when you get past that and you get to the professional drivers that ran into the back of it, now you have to ask yourself, okay, Did they not use their Smith system, or did they get caught sliding on black ice? Right? And so you just don't know. All I can say to you is, if you don't know the Smith system, at our academy, we teach you all of that. Our academy, that's why we have a CDL class that you can just come in and get your CDL and go on about your business. But this is how deep our academy goes. We teach you about inclement weather driving. We teach you about go, get out and look. And we teach you about the Smith system rules. When you're in inclement weather and you know it's inclement weather, slow down. Slow down, man. It ain't worth it. It ain't worth it. This pileup should be a big wake-up call that it's not worth it. Slow down. That way you can give your chance to you can save yourself an out. I'm not going to sit here and speculate what happened. I'm not going to sit here and say what nobody should have did. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that this person was wrong, that person. That's not my job. My job and what I want to do is to educate you on how to deal with situations like this. Give you the tools to navigate situations like this. And like I always tell these drivers out here, each and every day, say, man, leave the way you came. Because if you leave the way you came, other people will get home to their families. And everybody got to take that approach. Leave the way you came, meaning be as safe now as you're going to be then. Bro, I hope we never see that again. I hope we never, ever get a report of something like that again. We shouldn't. We can't. Because if it's going to freeze and it's going to rain, you're going to save money by not putting putting sand out over the bridges, over the overpasses, right? Then past that, every driver in a 4-wheeler or in an 18-wheeler, man, slow down and get the big picture. It's not that serious. I know somebody gonna be hard-headed and say, man, forget that. I drive through this all the time. Let me get on up out of here. This dude going too slow. I chunked the deuces up on a lot of people up in Colorado, flying by me on 70. Boom, through a blizzard. Deuces. But you do know driving in the blizzard is a little bit safer than driving on black ice. Yeah, it is. Some people may disagree with me, but it is. Black ice is the most dangerous thing you can ever encounter because you don't know if it's ice or water, but you need to anticipate if it's raining and if it's below 30 degrees, you need to anticipate that water then turn to ice. Anticipate it. And watch yourself, man. Be careful. Be careful, man. This here hit. It hit home because this is what I do. You know what I mean? This is what I do. It had a lot of truck drivers involved in that. Too many people lost their lives. Too many people gonna have mental issues from that. And I just pray to God that they get the help they need. I pray to God that He's there for those family members who lost their loved ones in that. I just pray that He heals them and He guides them to a better to a better understanding of why. Yes, man, that's what we do, spiritual goddess. That's what we do. That's what we do. That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for, to touch on the things that people just want to skim over. You gotta dig deep. I want to. This is the whole reason why I started this podcast, is because I wanted to dig deep. I want to dig deep. I want to go deeper on subjects like this, on things when drivers are getting shot at while they're trying to do their job. I want to go deep on those things. See, people don't even know that as a driver, you can have a gun if you're a concealed weapon. But why would you, when everywhere you go, they say no firearms on the premises? So what you gonna do with your firearm? And if they search your truck and you got it on you, see, people don't understand how sensitive this trucking game is, man. People don't understand how we get on that road and we don't have no protection from vandals that are out there trying to come up. All we got is these, and people don't do this no more. All they do is this. Yeah, people don't do this no more. All they do is this. That's it. And we can't have this. We can, but then when we go to pick up a load or deliver a load, where we gonna put it? When they say no firearms, they're not gonna store it at the security gate for us. They don't want it. So this is why I do this. And I don't care. I don't care if I got 2 of y'all in there, y'all got 3 of y'all in there. I don't care. I don't care who watch it. But guess what? It's gonna be on YouTube. It's gonna be on Facebook for you guys to use as a reference and go back and listen to. I'm good. I'm good. I've been blessed so much that everything I need, I got right here to do what I'm doing. I got right here to do it, and I'm blessed that my wife got all of the acuteness, all of the intelligence, all the business savvy to do what she do, and I got just enough to do what I do to make this stuff happen. And what I mean by that is doing all of the setups, getting everything set up, doing the cameras, doing the sound, doing all of that, putting up all of these banners, doing this and doing that. I'm so serious, man. And that's why I do this. Because I created this. We created this. And I can do it whether I got 1,000, 1,500, or 5. It don't matter to me. Because I love to hear myself talk anyway. I love to hear myself talk. So we good, man. We good. Once again, man, prayers out to the families that were involved in the I-35 crashes this past week. Houston, we got bad weather. We got bad weather. Hey, man, if you don't have to move tomorrow, and this is what they're saying out of Houston, if you don't have to move tomorrow, if you don't have to go to work, if you don't have to make a move, stay at home. Stay at home, because it's supposed to be, we not used to this kind of weather down here in Houston. Thank you, Rasta. Thank you so much. We not used to that kind of weather down here in Houston. So when it get below 30, we hunker down. And plus, it's supposed to rain all night. And so that's going to create black ice. So, man, I want to say thank you guys for listening to me. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for letting the little old boy out of Houston, Texas, like myself, that want to give away what I have so that I can get more. I want to thank you guys for letting me vent. I want to thank you guys for allowing me to share my knowledge of this trucking industry. I want to thank you guys for allowing all of my guests to come on and spread the love. And they say it's snowing in my neighborhood. Wow. That in February. Wow. But I want to thank you guys for just being friends of the show, friends of ours. I love to get to know people. Hey, Pat, stay safe out there, bro. Ms. Rasta, how you doing? Good to see you. Uh, Charles, as always, I know you was tuned in. Spirit Goddess, hey man, thank you for tuning in. To everybody, man, thank you for tuning in. To Miss Latoya Young, everybody on Facebook, thank you for tuning in. Nakia Parker, thank you for tuning in. Virgil Lewis, thank you for tuning in. Virgil, I told you, man, you need to hit me in my Gmail, man. We can talk about some things. I want to thank you guys, and most of all, I want to thank my wife for being who she is. And then I want to thank, but last, never not least, thank God for allowing us to be on this platform and do what we do. Hey, man, this has been the Freight Trapping Podcast. I've been your host, Mr. James Roberts, and we'll see you next week. Good night.